Off and on the clock. Everything you need to know for this week 5 DFS slate on Underdog. We'll do a slate overview, go through our favorite sleepers and scrolls at each position. We'll do a few drafts, including the Deposit Kingdom and Badge Bros Brawl contest, maybe even a little dog bowl for the 12-person heads out there. And then we'll spice it up with some pick'ems. It is Boosttober after all. I'm Pete with Jon and Nez. Let's do it. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We got everyone in the saddle today at the start. No internet issues, no traveling. Our first time in, I think, a month of all of us here at the start of the stream. How we doing, Jon and Nez?
Doing well. You're right. I think this is since week 1 that we have no issues. Everybody's here. It's going to be good. That didn't stop us last week. The core got home. If memory serves. Oh yeah. So, I mean, these are the vibes that we need. I'm feeling good. It's a goofy ass slate. I think it's a perfect slate for us to talk about.
Yeah. And also I know you guys did Winner's Circle. I talked about it on the portfolio review on Monday, but for people who just watched this show, back-to-back weeks, masterclass subs taking down first place in the BR for 50K, 100K in 2 weeks to masterclass subs. Jay Dennis was on the Winner's Circle. Told an incredible. I mean, is that not the dream to go on a 3-week trip to Italy, come back, start dabbling, take a course, and then ship 50K? I mean, that guy's living the dream right now.
I mean, that's good. That's a good life, man. I wish I had that one going for me too. That was very, very cool story. Very down to earth story. Back-to-back weeks of extremely down to earth, like humble dudes who just like, yeah, man, did the class, and then this game's easy. I figured it out. Yeah. Other thing that's been slapping, obviously, Boosttober. We get another one home last night. We get 2 cores throughout this week to go on the back of last Friday's core getting home there, but then. You made the swap stuff free for everybody. And what goes on last night is everybody swapping off Purdy has to get on to Kendrick Bourne there, and he might be a slate breaker there too. So even when we make elements of the course free, those elements of the course slap as well. So, yeah.
There you go. I just dropped the link to that in the chat. I'll make sure to put it in the show notes too, because it has a very specific landing page. But all you have to do, give us your email, and you can get access to the entire swap lesson. Has the video element of the course. You can get the roundtable on it. And if you're new to Underdog, just all the mechanics on how swapping works. Jon recorded screen shares for both mobile and desktop if you're wondering about how to take advantage of those swaps. And man, looking at this slate too with all the Q tags, like it seems like it could be another slate where we are having to take advantage of this. I mean, how many Brock Bowers teams might end up having to swap here at this point, guys?
Yeah, that's a very interesting conversation. In dog bowls, especially early in the week, it's going to be like swap central, swap mania, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be crazy. Even up to this point, there's still going to be a lot of swaps with the Lamar stuff. I know people are taking Lamar in the last round, basically for the free swap. And then, if Bowers doesn't end up suiting up, we have Juwan as well. There's just so many swaps taking place in those 12-person drafts. The biggest one for us in these contests, I think, are early week Bucky drafters, and then obviously the Bowers conversation. But it does seem like Bowers plans to play, which is that's like an entire conversation, to be honest, man. Like it just doesn't seem ideal to be playing so hurt. And as fantasies, as DFS players, like I'm kind of avoiding it. But yeah, I mean, just while we're on the conversation, I'm just it's a weird one.
When we're talking about it too, like one thing we talk about in the course is, and I don't know if one of you guys coined the term, the idea of staying on the clock. And like, it never feels good. Like I've been clicking some Debo. I'm like, who knows what's going to go on there, but you're using it essentially as a placeholder for, hey, if another play, say it is a Rico Dowdle and a 3 wide receiver build where you can swap to the 2 running back build, stuff like that. When you were drafting that team, you might not have had the knowledge that Rico Dowdle would be a good scroll down running back, but you have a placeholder element there with the Q tag. And that way, your favorite scrolls aren't entirely back weighted to your later drafts, right? That you could have some diversity of those sprinkled into your early drafts. It's really kind of a nifty way to play your portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's effectively the late swap of our game,
Yeah.
Because like yeah, we're going to have known information from like a week's worth of drafts to be like, oh, who is the leverage piece right now based on the sample which we've accrued.
Exactly.
Just to help the people at home and selfishly help myself right now, Lamar, Bucky, Debo potentially, Bowers potentially, Chuba potentially would be kind of like the 5 right
Chuba's
now.
confirmed.
Yeah, Chuba confirmed.
Okay, so Chuba just got confirmed, so some Rico business might be taking place there. Okay, so but those are kind of like the core 5 for this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Terry's questionable still, but I lean him doubtful.
Who? Sorry, can you say that again, Nez? Who was it?
Terry McLaurin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's actually officially out. He was Q he rolled out yesterday. Sorry, he was Q all week though.
Okay,
so that would have been like a potential player swap. But that's not super relevant.
Sure, but people might have been taking him in the 12th. So there's six swap viable, potentially 6 swap viable, 4 confirmed thus far.
Yep.
Yeah, Juwan Johnson is another one too, I think.
Yeah, he's Q.
Yeah.
Q tag. Yeah. Dallas Goedert's Q tag, I think, is trending in the right direction. Juwan, though, does look a little questionable there. All right. Let's dig in. We always have a lot of ground to cover on this slate or on this show. But with the week 5 slate, it's certainly condensed. All of these injury situations, the buys, it's a condensed slate when, Justin Fields is the QB1 here with an ADP of 17.1. Let's do a little macro and we can kind of start hitting position by position as well. What are you guys seeing with this week 5 slate?
Yeah, macro obviously with a bunch of the quote unquote elite quarterbacks off of the slate here with no Lamar, no Josh Allen on the slate there. 10 games, which is the smallest in which we've had yet because of the bye weeks and that sort of stuff there. People funneling to the same game environments over and over again. Basically 2 or 3 outlying wide receiver plays on the slate and then extremely ambiguous after that. Everybody's favorite scrolls are at the running back position right now. So it's funneling people towards a lot of 1-2-2-1s on the slate. Right, wrong, who knows? Best scrolls, in my opinion, coming at the tight end and quarterback position yet again.
It's interesting you say that. I know that like Rachaad White and Rico Dowdle are like easy scrolls, right? Like everyone is aware that they're freed up. They're starting running backs and they have a pretty strong projected role, but like I'm leaning way more towards like the wide receivers in terms of like where I'm scrolling this week and making this week like way more viable in my opinion for 1-1-3-1s getting home. And really, leaning into those builds, depending on what the rooms do in my lobbies, obviously. But I think this is probably in my opinion, like the most viable 3 wide receiver week I've seen. Obviously, we've had 3 wide receiver weeks get home in weeks past, but in terms of like how I'm playing, I'm leaning in way more into the 3 wide receiver stuff. Nice.
That's changed since Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's been like a lot of stuff opening up and like the way ADPs are kind of like shaping out. It's just most of the running backs that I want to play are top 10 picks. So, if you don't get 2 there, then I'd rather probably have a wide receiver.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that, John. I don't even know if you're necessarily wrong that the running back scrolls are maybe better, but I'm like viewing the slate the opposite in that I like the wide receiver scrolls better because even though maybe the running back scrolls versus the wide receiver scrolls, the running backs project better, the opportunity cost of the running backs you're passing up on at the top is so much greater than the opportunity cost of the wide receivers at the top because it's so weak up there. We have 4 to 5 guys, who are fully capable of dropping 30 at the running back position. And like you said, like Amon-Ra, JSN, like, yeah, these guys are good players, but it's not as strong as we typically have. So I don't know. I still find myself kind of more toward early running back and late wide receiver just from like an optimal build, but I definitely want to be scrolling a good bit at both positions.
Sounds good.
It's really interesting because I feel like there's like, I would call it in terms of like must draft wide receivers. I think there's I mean, I'll be bold and say, like, I don't think Chase is a must draft. Like, I think there's 5 like must draft wide receivers on the slate, and then the rest, like, I could easily bypass and scroll to replace. Personally.
And
I'd agree with you.
I was messing around drafting a few teams with the solver this morning, and just to kind of like illustrate how flat it is after those top 10 or so players, is if I just put like a little bit of variance on the projection, I think I slid it up to like 25%. Like after the first 7 or 8 players, like you would literally get suggested like Chris Olave or Breece Hall or like just spray and pray, like Kyler would pop up or whatever. And again, just showing just a little bit of variance, that tier is so flat that you can really start clicking anyone. And that's even more so than any of these previous slates where, like, yes, there's a tier break, but picks 10 through 20 are typically much stronger on a slate than they are here.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. I think because it is so condensed at most of these positions, we can kind of have the like scroll conversation in tandem with just the overall positional overview here. So, at quarterback, we're really going to have 4 quarterbacks who are drafted 100% of the time: Fields, Hurts, Goff, and Prescott. And then after that, because of the Daniels Q tag, because Herbert has an ADP of 31.4, I think some of these guys are going to more fall into the Mahomes range of ownership from last week, where he was about 50% rostered, which is obviously relevant because he was the optimal QB, or at least in the winning lineup there. So what are your guys' thoughts on the quarterback position?
Yeah, I might even push back on the 100% number for some of these. Like, I've seen Hurts go undrafted this week. I've seen Goff go undrafted this week. So, I think it's that you're not dealing with like a band of 8 and 4 going every single time like we have in past weeks. It's kind of like 2 for sure go every single time. And then, I don't know, after that, and then you can expand as far down as like QB 12 if you want to. Like, people are doing the Bo Nix thing. People are doing the Jackson Dart thing. People are fading like the Baker Q tag and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of fun angles to take at the back end of quarterback here. And a lot of that ownership is going to find itself tethered to skinny stacks. So if you're the guy just running some naked quarterback down here that's, 15% owned, you can find some big time leverage.
Yeah, I'm pretty like shocked by some of these QB ADPs. Like Justin Herbert being QB6 is just kind of like mind-boggling to me. Daniel Jones against Vegas, QB7 is like very puzzling to me, but I guess back-to-back like sub 20-point games, the field will immediately just assume it's over. But yeah, like I'm just like very, very intrigued by a lot of these QB scrolls. I mean, I don't know if we're ready for like a deep one, or may I?
I'm ready.
Sam Darnold, man. Sam Darnold against these Bucks, man. I am like really, really intrigued by. I think the game plan could really shift here for Sam Darnold, where the Bucks just like make the Seahawks play differently. Where right now they're just super run heavy, like 30 touches, 30 rush attempts for Charbs and Ken Walker last week. You're just not going to be able to do that effectively against the Bucks. And maybe that's why the spread is so tight here, because it is pretty confusing to me. A banged up Bucks going up against Seattle, and it's only 3.5. Because I think Seattle, if forced to throw, can do it effectively. Sam Darnold's been really, really good this season in terms of EPA per play and completion percentage over expected. So I'm excited to see them like hopefully come into this game knowing this and having this in mind. And then we see a pass rate over expected, what they've had over the season, hopefully their highest pass rate yet. And we see Darnold have like, a 20-point game or 20-something point game here. I'm really excited about Darnold here.
Yeah, 2 things I'd say to that. Nez, did you see the EPA per play leaderboard chart coupled with PFF grade? I think it was a Ben Baldwin chart. Did you see this one?
Not the PFF grade, no.
In tandem with the EPA per play and PFF grade, Sam Darnold's the second best quarterback in football thus far this year, and Dak Prescott's number 1. Just like those 2 isolated metrics. And then there was an EPA chart floating around based on where you run in gap schemes. And then there was a coinciding defensive chart of where they best stop run-based schemes. And it was basically the Vita Vea chart of like, you can't run up the middle. And Seattle this year is one of the worst teams in all of football at running up the middle. So it is kind of this perfect storm of like, you're going to want to get outside the tackles if you're running, or you're going to want to get the ball out quickly to JSN via Sam Darnold to beat the middle of that front. So it is kind of like a ball knower's perfect storm there with this Sam Darnold take.
I guess one thing, Nez, is there anything you're doing with it other than JSN?
No, sometimes the only other thing I'm doing is like running it naked, where like maybe it's Barner, Arroyo's been running more routes, Cup potentially. Does Torrey Horton like get back in the good graces that he for some reason fell out of? I think that there's other options other than JSN, so it's either JSN or naked.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely tough we have seen the naked quarterbacks hit. The two that have hit have been more rushing quarterbacks. Last week, I think Stafford was technically the optimal quarterback, wasn't he? But everyone who used him had him paired, with either Puka or Devontae. So just an interesting note there. John, do you have any favorite scrolls?
Yeah, am I good right now? Am I muted?
No, you're good. You didn't mute when you coughed, I think.
That's why I got myself all crossed up, because usually I'm really good at that, and then I got myself crossed up on which light is which right now. I just wanted to talk about the Matthew Stafford thing for a half second. Pretty hilarious how proclaimed no ceiling, and I said it on our show, like, man, you can't stack this guy. He hasn't scored more than 25 fantasy points in forever in our scoring format. I think it was like 11 years he had one game over 25, and now he's had back-to-back. My exact line was, you need 350 and 3 scores from him to matter, and now he's had 350 and 3 scores in back-to-back games for the first time in forever. It's just kind of fucking hilarious how he still has that in his bag.
And maybe I'm being unfair to him, but to me, I feel like it's more about Devontae Adams, right? Because, well, one, Adams is really fucking good, but also how they're using him is deeper down the field. And he's such a big red zone presence. And I think that offense without him, Puka's still going to ball, but just having an extra touchdown monster and an extra deep threat has like really elevated the ceiling for Stafford in a way that we should be adjusting how we think about his ceiling.
Yeah, really good shout there.
I don't know if I have any like super creative stuff. I do like the Kyler stacks this week. Me too. He's going to be very popular with McBride, so I think the fun tournament angle is him with Marv or him naked. He really does kind of fit the mold of like the naked quarterback. You could easily see him doing one McBride, one Harrison, one rushing touchdown type of thing, and him scoring 27 to 30 points this week. So I like that angle a lot. Yuta was just getting me kind of hyped and intrigued on Bryce Young there. You could basically kind of do the Darnold to JSN thing with him to Ted Arroyo there. Is kind of interesting. Any other quarterback notes before we move to running back?
I think if you want to go the reverse snip snap angle of like last week where Geno fails and then everybody plays Genty and wins with Genty, and now everybody's pushed up Genty. If you want to go snip snap on like Geno and just play Geno with, Trey Tucker as a super scroll in the 12s or whatever, or Geno plus Jacoby, something like that.
Yeah, I like
but
it.
I'm in full double stamp of approval on the Arizona stuff with you. That was one that really stood out to me on Wednesday that we were talking about.
I have trouble there. I mean, I don't want to make this a whole Kyler segment, but like I really struggle with that, man. I think the best angle for it is like Tennessee sucks and they don't have like their two starting running backs that they would prefer to run with. So, get right spot for Kyler. But I don't know, man. Like I really struggle to get there with Kyler. It just hasn't been super high ceiling performances out of him in the last like 2 years, So if you're playing Kyler, I feel like you have to stack Kyler, which is like weird to say, but I think if Kyler's getting home for you, I think you have to stack him. Like the best rushing performances out of Kyler, the last one that we saw was like last year was like 83-1, and he only put up 24 fantasy points in that game. He's an intriguing player, man. I don't know. I want to, like, when both you guys are on something, I want to I want to get there too, considering that I'm not on it.
So I agree with the concept that Kyler will probably not be the winning quarterback due to like rushing in the way that Fields and some of these other guys, and that if he does get there, it's because he has an above average passing day that we haven't seen in a while. I guess where I disagree is that you have to stack him, because I think you can still get a Michael Wilson TD. Both these guys, Michael Carter, Amari DiMarcado, pretty good in the passing game. So I could see the spread out Kyler game, but I do agree with you. The dude's going to have to throw 3+ touchdowns to be the optimal. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair.
All right, let's head over to running back here. Obviously, some really good plays at the high end, kind of a tier here in round one with Taylor Gibbs, Achane, Hampton, and Barkley kind of flirting with it. Scatabo is kind of a hard click right now with Tracy back at practice. We'll see how that shakes out. Breece Hall and Javonte in that game, Genty coming off of the massive game, and then you're pretty quickly into scroll territory. What are you guys liking at running back?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's favorite play on the slate's Breece Hall, and he's just kind of pushed up over the week here, and then ETR gave their stamp of approval on it, so that's kind of like really thrust up. It used to be like a 5th or 6th round pick to start the week. Yeah, people are going to get excited. Like people have a tendency to get excited about playing like the new shiny toy, and that's going to lead people to clicking, Rashad White, Rico Dowdle, and Woody Marks as kind of like their 3 favorite scrolls. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with it. I don't think it's like bad per se, but I'm going back to the well on Chase Brown, man. I just
wow.
I don't know, man. This might just be like total fish donk behavior to be like, yeah, he's been good in the past, but like he just gets all the usage in the world. He's game script agnostic. As long as they can move the football a little bit in a trailing script, if you're going to get Chase Brown with that workload at like 30%, I'll play it a bit.
Okay. Yeah, no, I guess the you can look at the rushing attempts being way down and 2 tough games on the road at Denver, Minnesota. Granted, this is another tough game where it's like, how much are they going to be able to run the ball, or are they just going to be down 14 points so quickly? But I'm never going to push back on a lead back who has a low draft percentage. So yeah, I can certainly see that. Probably need an explosive play from him to get home there.
Which is Nez, debatable if he has it in his bag anymore. Like
that's how we got on to Chase Brown. Was once upon a time he had one big play during the Dog Bowl, and we were like, oh yeah, this guy like is pretty intriguing for best ball. Let's for me, I'm gonna go. So this is like full slappy, man. It's Woody Marks season. I love it, man. I'm absolutely bought in. I just don't know how you can look at the Texans as a team. Like if you're the coach and you look at your team and you're like, wow, like we have like really nothing going. Like we can't even get Nico going. But like, here's Woody Marks, who last week scores 2 touchdowns, looks awesome. He's explosive. He touches the ball 21 times, man. And now he's going up against a banged up Ravens, who I'm really surprised that the Texans aren't bigger favorites here. I know that they're in Baltimore. I'm just like, I don't really understand that at all. But this is like a Woody Marks game, and I think everybody's afraid to play it and be a slappy about it. dude, they traded up for Woody Marks. They didn't bring anybody else in other than Nick Chubb. I was like adamant they were going to bring somebody else in, and they didn't. And now it's Woody Marks, and then they give him 21 touches, and he looks awesome. He scores twice. Now he's going up against Baltimore. Baltimore is 28th in the league in rush success rate. In rush EPA, they're 29th in rush EPA. I mean, and not to mention, like, can you name 5 healthy Ravens defenders right now? Like,
I could name 5, even if they were healthy. Yes.
Yeah. So, like, to me, it's just like he is their game plan right now.
Yeah.
Because like Christian Kirk sucks. Higgins is still getting rolling. He is who they have right now. So like, I'm like fully in on Woody Marks, man. I'm putting on the slappy hat and having some fun here.
I like that. I like that shout. And there's also the element too of you are able to buy. This isn't like a known entity. This is someone who broke out last week, and we're still seeing like to what extent is he going to take over this backfield, because there's still even more work here. Like Nick Chubb had a role last week, even with him getting 17 attempts and 4 receptions. Yeah, I think I have zero issues with the play. I just think it's going to be a super gross game environment. And so I feel like the volume will really have to be there, as opposed to like this getting in a shootout where you could get like a really ridiculous score. But he seems like a really good bet for, 15 plus points.
Yeah, I just think there's some efficiency to his game. I mean, the Tampa Bay game, he has 1 reception for 37 yards, scores twice in that Titans game because he's an efficient player. Like, yeah, you definitely kind of need probably a bit of a perfect storm, but the way that he's just been so efficient, if things trend his way even more, he just seems like a great play at, this is going to be below like Genti ownership. This is going to be like 20% or lower on Woody, I think.
Yep. Yeah, and the other ones we obviously have to mention down here, I mean, the 2 guys who are going to be chalk on redacted, Rachaad White and Rico. And actually, I don't even know if they're going to be that chalky, but their salaries really put them into play over there. So Rachaad White, I know there's a ton of enthusiasm for Sean Tucker. Like, I can't bring up Rachaad White without the chat spamming Sean Tucker 9 times. I like Sean Tucker. I think he could be a thing over the course of the season, but I think this is going to be the Rachaad White show, especially against a good defense where they're going to need to get the ball out quick. So I like that play. And then Rico stuff here, in a spot where they could just handle Miami. And we played Rico last year, plenty of spots. And he was more of a floor play than a ceiling, but if he gets 20 plus touches here and they have a good game script and he scores a touchdown, you could see it. I guess the question is how often does he score, 21, 22 points? That's what you always wrestle with some of these scrolls.
Yeah, I think it's probably better suited for the 12s where you get 12 to 14 fantasy points, and that pushes you over the hump in the dog bowl than it is for the 6s. But I mean, if he scores 2 touchdowns in the same capacity that Woody Marks did last week with 1 through the air, 1 on the ground, and that game pushes total and environment and becomes kind of the not so secret slop it up of the week, it could definitely get home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a condensed week. I mean, he doesn't really qualify as a scroll, but we do now have to make the obligatory mention. There's going to be a lot of steam on Montgomery. It's the huge team total. Even if you didn't have the stuff with his sister, he would be a guy that's coming in here. His draft percentage, we're probably going to inch that up to 60, 70%, is probably where we land. Maybe not quite that high.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, maybe with swaps and stuff like that from early in the week, because maybe he becomes the default swap for the Bucky drafters if ADP pushes high enough, and then it would be in that range, I believe. But yeah, I mean, 60 probably feels good.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to wide receiver. We kind of talked about the high end a little bit there. I agree with Nez that there's only 4 to 5 must-have wide receivers. One of these spots, I wrote it up in my gems piece this week, but this Chargers wide receiver spot is the stuff BR dreams are made of. You have 3 players who all project for a similar target share. One of the wide receivers has been the hotter one, who's getting drafted 100% of the time, and the other ones are getting drafted sub 20%. It's just as classic of a BR play as you can get. I will say, Quentin Johnson, it fell in a couple of my drafts. I took him with the last pick in one of my drafts. So it does show the ambiguity, but just based on these ADPs, I really like the non-QJ receivers.
Yeah, just find back into, hey, is Ladd actually that dude that we were drafting him in the offseason to be? And that thesis is hit twice in back-to-back weeks now with AJ Brown and with Ashton Genti. So it's the, squeakiest of squeaky wheels kind of narrative right now. The QJ stuff has been incredible. Ladd's utilization report score is below the other 2. It's below Amari and Hampton. It's a pure kind of just bet on talent and bet on leverage play right now. And I'm not going to fault anyone who wants to make it. It's going to be part of my portfolio, especially just given how well Herbert projects this week and the fact that we like getting to this game environment. But I'm not going to say I'm fucking confident in it, but it's definitely, it's definitely as you're alluding to, Pete, that this is what these games are designed for, this kind of narrative.
Scrolls and the word confidence have never been synonymous.
They shouldn't be. Yeah.
Nez, what do you like other than Jameson Williams?
Yeah, man. I can't believe that the week I played 26% JMO in the dog bowl, he has his season high targets per route run and doesn't connect on a single deep ball with Goff. That was really tough, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little tilted over that, but I think I'm gonna go back to the Jacoby Myers here against the Colts. I was kind of under the assumption that the Colts had a above average pass rush. I was reading the Kerrane's walkthrough, and he was showing some metrics that they actually don't really have like an overly effective pass rush. Bit of a pass funnel as well. Their secondary is somewhat banged up now with Xavier Howard retiring, which is definitely interesting. So I'm gonna go back to the Jacoby. Well, I played a ton of Jacoby last week, and I think everybody's done with Jacoby. I like it a lot because I think they're going to get pushed big time. They're indoors against the Colts. I think the Colts are going to be able to score at will here. So we know Geno can sling it, is willing to sling it. Hopefully he just bounces back from that awful performance against the Bears. Yeah, I'm going back to the Jacoby. Well, I know it's like it feels gross, and it's like, what if this time it works?
I don't even think it's gross with Brock Bowers. Like, there's been a difference between even like Brock Bowers wearing a brace and not being as explosive and now legitimately being on the injury report. Like, I think there's another level to how effective he's going to be. I mean,
sure.
I think it's a really good play. And for a lot of the reasons you mentioned of everyone just like, Jacoby Myers, no ceiling. Like, I'm Trey Tucker. Like, I just don't want to deal with this. I like it a lot. I think there's a lot of good ones down here, John. I mean, Chris Godwin comes back to a 90% route share, 26% target share. We used to draft this guy like top 15, top 20 ADPs at 35.5.
Yeah. Chris Godwin's on my short list there. Marv Harrison, who we already talked about. Jacoby Myers, who you said there, Nez. Olave, Devontae Smith. Like, if you get the Surtain treatment on one side and then that game plays up a little bit, everyone expects it to play down. But if it happens to play up a little bit, that one feels good. Everybody wants to play every angle of Detroit, but nobody wants to play the Bengals. So T. Higgins feels fine. And then Darius Slayton, new quarterback change, new expanded X role, more of a 12-person one if you want to do like skinny stack with him and Dart. I just think he plays better for the scoring format than Wan'Dale Robinson does on our site. And people are drafting Theo Johnson. Why not just be the guy who takes Slayton instead?
Yep. All right, let's head over to tight end here. McBride, Warren, Ferguson at the top. Those are going to be your 100% drafted guys. Brock Bowers, we've been talking about him. He didn't play again today. Just probably the toughest click I've ever seen in the BRs. I mean, when you couple his recent performance, the injury, the ownership percentage, the high likelihood of like the swap, I don't know what to do with this fucking guy. He's caused me to lose my mind.
It's blind faith at this point, right? Like, it's just Ned's kind of been all over it that he's more injured than he is hurt right now, and it just looks bad out there. But I don't know. Crane had some good bullish stuff to say in the walkthrough about the role still, but yeah, I don't know. This is where I think we put our ball knowers hat on, and as enticing as maybe an ownership discount in a decent game environment on Brock Bowers is, I think we might have to kill some of our priors that this isn't the Brock Bowers we were dealing with a month ago.
For sure. You quickly get into scroll territory after him, Laporta probably in that 50% range. And then you jump from a 30 ADP all the way to 34. So people really picking their favorite down here: Waller, Ertz, Goddard, Andrews, Johnson, Mason Taylor, Schultz, Tommy Tremble. That's probably the list for six mans. Do you guys have any favorites of that deep scroll tier?
Yeah, I like Tommy Tremble a lot. He ran 68% of routes, 27% targets per route run last week. If the Panthers can't score points on Miami, man, there is going to be hell to pay next week. Like, somebody's losing their job. I don't know who. The shit's getting shaken up in Carolina, man. Like, at home, you have to be able to move the ball against Miami. You have to. And I think Tommy Tremble in the red zone is like definitely going to be a target for Bryce Young. So I really like Tommy Tremble here. Tight end 13. I mean, like, we're basically just looking for a touchdown, man. And like you're getting that and then some with Tommy Tremble here. So yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of him.
Yeah, I like Mason Taylor just because it's going to be so hard to play that Dallas in Jets game in a unique way. The running back, every usable wide receiver, like really the only draftable piece that has a low draft percentage is Mason Taylor. He had 7 targets last week, 6 targets the week before. He's also the kind of guy where it's like you could crater the Garrett Wilson play, if he scores the touchdown or whatever. So yeah, Taylor's kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, we talked about that one on Wednesday. That was same angle as you there, Pete, that I liked. A contractually obligated to mention the man who could break any slate at any given time. If he happens to come off the pup list. If he happens to come off the pup list and Juwan Johnson does not play this week, look the fuck out for the best quarterback on their roster, Taysom Hill. He might be their best goal line running back, too, the way Kamara's looked the last couple of weeks there. I mean, Kendra's been kind of nice with it. But I'm contractually obligated to mention Taysom Hill's going to break a dog bowl slate sooner rather than later.
I'll ask you, Nez, as a more biased narrator here, and I meant to actually bring this up to JM, but what do you think about Juwan Johnson if Taysom Hill is active? Like, what does that do to it for you?
I don't know that does like a ton.
Okay.
I think Juwan Johnson is like a big slot receiver for the Saints. So I think what this really does is it just like completely craters any value Alvin Kamara has left. It's completely over for Alvin Kamara if Taysom Hill is active. Like, I don't know, like Alvin Kamara got 4 receptions and 2 yards last week. Like, Kendre looks better than him, just straight up looks better, and his role is increasing week over week. Like, it's over for Kamara if Taysom's active. I would just like to throw one more name out here, and this isn't necessarily a name that I'm like scrolling to, but I kind of like want to, but maybe it's more so a feather in the cap of Sam Darnold. Is Elijah Arroyo saw a really big role increase in week 4, where he ran 61% of routes, 21% targets per route run, an ADOT of 13 for Elijah Arroyo. I mean, this is somebody that we were kind of excited about in big board season. He landed with the Seahawks, and then they traded Noah Fant. But we were like, hey, look out for AJ Barner. And yeah, AJ Barner's there and like is in the way. But given that I think this game script will lead to more passing for the Seahawks, I'm just saying, just don't be surprised if Elijah Arroyo has a good game. I understand that it's really thin, but like just seeing the role increase and like the way that this game script sets up, like I think Arroyo is pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, interesting to see that role increase in tandem with the Torrey Horton one going down too. So sure. I don't know if there's anything sticky there or any push-pull there. Also, it was Thursday night short week. Who knows? Maybe that's just a spot where they needed more fresher, healthy bodies. But yeah, I like where your head's at there, Nez. Like that's a fun one to get excited about pushing forward for sure.
All right. Should we do some drafts, fellas?
Let's get into it.
All right.
Bear shit in the woods or what?
That's right. Look at, they're making us work for it. Wait, is it not up yet? Or did I scroll past it?
I don't know. Maybe let me refresh.
All right, I'm
Keep
going
the
to
old off and then on again. Blow on the cartridge there.
Often, that's what it means for here.
Off and on the clock. Oh, I know. I don't think it's up. Right. They didn't press the button.
We were going to do a dog bowl anyways. You guys want to do the dog bowl here first, and then we'll come back to the small field?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to hop in.
All right, get in. 5 people, so we're good here. Nice. All right, I will. Do you guys want me to message Numi?
Oh yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If we have time, we can hop in one of those and then go into the pick'ems. I know we've got pick'ems to get to, but
we do. And also, I am so excited about the development in that the boosts are now on desktop.
Yes,
ooh,
that was crucial.
I told my chat and I told you guys my horror story last week from our core, right?
Yeah. Awful stuff. I felt terrible. The one thing Davis and I figured out is if we do some slides today, you need to slide then boost. Don't boost then slide because it doesn't like, if for whatever reason doesn't like a boost then slide. So we got to slide then we boost. Just
You need
FYI.
You need to walk before you run, and you need to boost before you slide. Okay.
Or slide before you boost. Thank you. Yes.
There you go. All right. Influencer 101 for Jon. Nez has the 1-6. I got the 1-10. So we're all
That's
over
a perfect
the
spread.
The draft part. Yeah. All right. How many, Nez, what's the update? What's the volume looking like this week in the DB?
Now this is going to sound silly, but I am trying to do a little bit of less volume this week because of the dynamics that have existed in these dog bulls where there were some significant values early in the week. So this is a lower volume week for me. That said, I think this is like number 56. So I just don't think I'm going to get to 100.
What were the values that people should be aware of?
Yeah, Rashad White. It was extremely annoying because I was always getting like the back end of like the draft board, like 111, and I didn't want to take Rashad White in the 4th round at the 3-4 turn. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll get him in the 5th round. And then guys like Chad just taking him like right before I could every single time in the 5th round was just I had some strongly worded DMs typed out for him because I just couldn't get any cheap Rashad White, which was annoying. Rico Dowdle. 6th round availability no longer there. Jaden Daniels was falling quite a bit as well. So there was some big time values that were available.
It's a hilarious game that we play, that it's like a logical endeavor to pump the brakes on your entry threshold because of Rashad White. Like, it's just like I get it, but it's like, it's so funny.
I know, but it's true, man. And plus, it's just like it's a slate that I also like. The confidence meter is definitely the lowest it's probably been in terms of like how I feel going into a slate as well. You know,
yeah,
it feels way more ambiguous.
Man, this is definitely one of those weeks where sometimes like having the 101 or whatever feels bad because you can get like 2 on the back end here. This spot here at 110 feels disgusting.
Yep.
I'm gonna say that Genty keeps it rolling for the Raiders here.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that call.
But yeah, man, like Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall went 108 here. And then, man, yeah, Javonte goes another solid pick. But again, when you're thinking about the 1v1s of like my Javonte versus Jon's Jonathan Taylor or whatever, like it doesn't feel good.
No. It's tough. It's certainly tough. And I've been getting peppered with 111s all week. I was been telling Numi to give the RNG machine a slap over at the Underdog offices because this is getting crazy.
So what are your dog bowl exposures looking like? Who in this back end are you heavy on?
Pete, I have like 20% Garrett Wilson and George Pickens, just like all over and over and over, just like game stacking that game, and then taking Rashad White at the 3-4 turn. You might get. Well, I don't want to jinx it for you. We'll see what T Money does, but
yeah, I did see someone mentioned too on the Scatabo thing. Tracy is doubtful officially, so we should get another at least week of full blown bell cow Scatabo, which is nice. Okay, I'm gonna take Henry.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, dude, Derrick Henry, like you would not know Lamar is gone based on his pick'ems right now. 14.3 fantasy points. He's projected for 20 rush attempts, 86.5 rushing yards, 0.83x to score a touchdown. He looks incredible, you know. And I think with the Lamar absence, people are really baking in a lower floor for him, or maybe a lower ceiling, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's probably at the lower ceiling that people are just worried about them not being able to drop 30. But yeah, I don't mind it. You know, I was complaining about the late draft slot, but getting to get both Genty and Henry feels decent.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys forgive me, I didn't get to like watch all of the segments before this. Did you guys talk about the David Montgomery storyline? Is that because like I didn't know about this until you brought it up?
Yeah, I didn't know about it until people were mentioning it in the Hand Builders channel in the Discord, and then I brought it up to like JM. Yuta knew about it because he brought it up.
Of course,
yeah. But basically, everyone I've talked to who I consider sharp is saying like, no, this is gonna be a real thing. Like Dan Campbell is gonna get David Montgomery a touchdown this week.
He might get him more than one. I mean, this is an incredibly powerful story, man. David Montgomery coming back because I saw some people in the chat here that were unfamiliar, as was I. Yeah. So he interviewed with Kay Adams. He went on the Kay Adams show, and he's talking about
my colleague,
his hometown.
Kay Adams, please.
Yes, yeah. Kay Adams has said Pete Overzet's name before, which is insane on air.
It'll be the last time she ever says or thinks about it.
And so he's on the show and he's like, yeah, I'm going back to Cincinnati. It's my hometown. And my sister got in a very serious car accident on Valentine's Day. She has not been able to travel. It's going to be the first time seeing me in Cincinnati. So like, there's so much going on here. Yeah, man, Dan Campbell cares. And it's like the perfect spot for it too. Yeah. Like they can just do whatever they want in this game. He could have David Montgomery throw a touchdown if he asked. Like he'll do it, dude. He'll do it.
This is going to be the Oprah. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. David Montgomery, you get 2 touchdowns.
Yes. Yeah. So that was I did not know this until you said it like 20 minutes ago. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's that 30-point team total here. We're gonna get fireworks for sure. It's just
you would think, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to slow down either.
John's over there in the corner saying, nope, Chase Brown's going to have 200 yards rushing and nothing else is going to happen in this game.
Could you imagine?
I had to leave a running back spot open on this team for Chase Brown. So we'll see here.
There you go. All right. To recap this team so far or through 3 rounds, John goes Jonathan Taylor, Ladd, and Herbert gets that stack. At the turn, Nez goes JSN and then grabs that narrative. David Montgomery in the second. We're about to see what he does in the third. And I started with Genty and Henry.
I had a question for you guys. We haven't really talked game environment stuff since Wednesday there. Like the chalk has really formulated around like Dolphins and Panthers, like everybody's worst kept secret. Lions kind of like onslaught, but everybody's taking chase as well. And then Cowboys and Jets. Those are kind of like the big 3 on our site right now. Raiders and Colts, you can probably kind of throw in there, but it's mainly just the 2 running backs and Warren and I guess Bowers too. So it's just kind of like those positions. Is there any game that's like kind of like jumping off the page for you guys that like nobody else is touching right now?
The only one, and it's just because Yuta was kind of getting me on it, is that Carolina-Miami game. And the totals for those 2 teams was like a little better than you would think, considering all the injuries they've had.
Yeah, for sure. John, you said which games were chalk? Colts? Did you say?
Yeah, Colts, Raiders, Cowboys, Jets, and I included Miami and Panthers in that too because they go every time in our games, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Commanders, Chargers for sure. I think how this game gets nuts is like the Chargers maintain their high pass rate and they're successful, and then we get to see Jaden Daniels kind of ball out if he can, fresh off this injury. How much is he going to run? How effective will he be against this Chargers secondary? If he has the ability to kind of take this game to the next level, that could be a lot of fun there, I think. And then Colin in the chat saying Kamara and the Saints, and then Bing King, Saints and Giants. I agree, man. I think that game has a chance to be really fun. That's my spoiler alert. I'm looking at that as a slop fest for sure.
Slop it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Complimentary.
Yeah, just the reason I ask is with only 10 games on the slate, with so many like quote unquote X outs, except for like one side of it, like people are just Xing out the Texans game unless you play Henry or Nico, right? Like that's just, and maybe that's right. People are really Xing out Eagles and Broncos going back and forth because of all the recent trends with the Eagles and just squeezing the air out of the ball. Like I don't know. There's only 10 games and like people are crossing off like 4 of them. And maybe that's correct. I'm just thinking about like the macro dynamics. If that leads us to like not playing game environments or to play the gross game environments or to just play one-offs. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like struggling with like the macro notion of it.
Yeah, it's a different story in 6 persons compared to over here for sure.
Yeah, true.
The I ended up going Marvin Harrison and Chris Olave with my 2 wide receivers. Nez took Rashad White and then just grabbed Keenan Allen. Sorry, John. No Justin Herbert double stack for you, brother.
Yeah,
bro on
Keenan
bro
Allen's,
prime.
I know Keenan Allen's one of my most drafted wider players. Period. This week. So
Nice.
And I'll have you guys know that there's still a double stack available right now.
Trying to think about the most gross double stack imaginable to triangulate what you're thinking about right now.
We shall see.
He wouldn't dare. He wouldn't dare.
He wouldn't dare. He would not dare, would he?
The Sam Darnold Arroyo.
Chill.
Fresh off the Nez.
Chill. Come on, man. You reading the DMs out loud? What's wrong with you? Come on. Said that to you in confidence.
Trey Harris. I love when you like are cryptically talking about a stack and then it just leads the chat to just name like the grossest players on that team. Yeah.
I was thinking Gadsden as well.
Trey Harris. I haven't seen that name in a hot minute.
I think I'm about to drop him in a main event.
Are you're in a main?
I'm in one with Dave.
How's it looking?
We have a sick team. We're just 2-2, and we were facing Kyron and Devontae this week, so not great. But we have a nasty team though.
Nice.
I was gonna say
there was some chalk in the there's now this comment has come up about 2 to 3 times. I think Just said it initially. Thoughts on Demont and Gibbs in a 12-person draft together. What do you guys think of that?
I think it's totally viable.
Yeah, I think it's totally viable for sure. Is this an insane take that I prefer it in the 6 persons when they're both not 100% drafted and you need like an outlier smash from like the flex that's differentiating opposed to like a mean projection dog bowl get you over the hump?
I don't think so. No,
I like that take. Yeah, and also like the opportunity, like Nez had to take David Montgomery in round 2 here. So like you'd have to spend most realistically your first 2 picks, which in the dog bowl you're doing, or in the 6 person, you're doing your 1st and 6th round pick or 1st and 5th round. Like that's way more viable, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're going to get David Montgomery at probably like, what did we estimate earlier? Like 40 to 60%, something like that. And the pairing of them together is going to be like, what, 10 of that? So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I love it.
Jake's getting me good.
I was actually, so it was going to be Aronde, but now I think Will Dissly's got limited under his belt. So I'm a little more skittish about that click right now, but we'll see what's available.
I think it was 2 weeks ago, Nez, we were doing the dog bowl and I was asking you about like pushing my quarterback stack. And then right before I could even have the decision to push it, Awin took him naked again. And here he is once again, taking my Kyler Murray. I knew it was maybe unrealistic. He'd come all the way back to me with Marv, but Awin always doing me dirty.
Yeah. It's always Awin, man. Why is that?
Bro.
I've got one more like gal brain play for you guys. I want Pete make this decision here. So speaking of Daniel Jones, Alec Pierce rolled out with a concussion. Can they possibly keep AD Mitchell off the field just because he made some mistakes? He was so good, man. Like he was like, how you're gonna put Ashton Doolin on the field over AD Mitchell? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know that they can keep him off the field just out of punishment.
Yeah,
I mean, we've seen teams punish players for far less things. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past them for still being pissed that he took 14 points off the board last week.
I mean, I just feel like you got to just run it back, man. You got to give him a chance to get right. But who knows? Maybe it's just wishful thinking. But a 20 ADOT, man, 80 air yards, like, oh my gosh.
He did go there.
That Paulino has a good point in the chat. Some mistakes. He cost them 2 touchdowns. Like, it wasn't just that one.
I'm well aware. I mean,
whole
we're talking
thing.
about a guy being
Yeah.
benched. You know, I'm not. These are not small mistakes. He made 2 huge mistakes.
Yeah. I think Jacob Sanderson put something out this morning, like obviously his beloved Colts that he reacts to every week here on the program with you guys. But he was suggesting that they'd maybe split Pittman out wide a little bit more than his combo slot stuff, and then just leave downs on the field in 2 wide receiver sets and use him out of the slot a bunch. I don't know.
Yeah. Here are the so I ended up Daniel Jones fell all the way back to me, which having Genty, I kind of like that Dimes Genty correlation. Then I went ahead and just doubled up the Saints without Rattler and took a Jawan Johnson with Chris Olave there, which I kind of like.
Sweet.
Nez did, despite me getting the cat out of the bag about his Darnold or Royale stack, did grab Darnold, went Dallas Goedert, who just popped up with no injury designation for this week. So Goddard, a nice selection there. And then John's going to have Mr. Irrelevant. You know he's going to show off for all the fellas here. What's he going to do?
You guys know who's getting clicked right now, right?
Oh, my God.
Here we go, baby.
He did it.
Let's fucking go.
For the Wolves.
Welcome to Kansas City, Taysom.
God. Wow.
Great call by Taylor.
All right, we got to make up some ground here. So let's hop in. I did see Brett in the chat let us know that the contests are now up. Let's do a Deposit Kingdom and a Badge Bros brawl here, and see what we're looking at. These are, of course, the titular contest for the Deposit Kingdom Discord and the Badge Bros show. Make sure you guys are taking advantage of these. This Deposit Kingdom one we just hopped in is a 3 max $10 entry, 1K to first. I'll review the lineups on the portfolio review on Monday mornings. We got the 1-4 here, fellas. We'll collaborate on this one.
Yeah, 1-4 is an interesting spot, especially when you guys like the wide receiver scrolls. Like, I agree with you that I do like the wide receiver scrolls. They do feel more palatable than like the quote unquote running back scrolls. Mine was more like a macro sentiment about what the field's doing, where the field's doing a lot of like 1-2-2-1 and like pulling up, like Breece Hall pulling up White every single time. So this is a very interesting draft slot for us to roll if you guys want to do, 2 back-end running back scrolls, because we're going to take 2 of those premium wide receivers from 104, or if you guys want to do like the 1-and-1 that the field's kind of been doing.
When I'm at 1-4, man, I typically go wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the top of that position, it just feels better to get out ahead of.
Yeah,
I agree. Let's. You guys want to grab Amon-Ra here, and we can get creative as the draft progresses.
Yeah.
If you guys had to pinpoint like that GM front end combo this week, what is it to you guys? Like nothing egregious, like just like a pick or 2.
Achane and Amon-Ra, Achane or JSN.
Okay.
Like whoever is that top 3, whoever that last running back is of that top 3 tier, paired with one of Amon-Ra or JSN.
Okay. I mean, I might put that in the egregious category because I haven't seen it yet, but have you seen it?
I haven't, but I would guarantee that it's out there.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Because mine's Amon-Ra JSN.
First round. Yeah.
Like Amon-Ra JSN, and then having like one of the projectable running backs and then a scroll at the tight end or the scroll at the running back position, and then running either a skinny stack with tight end and quarterback or running naked quarterback is kind of my favorite right now. But I don't know. I was just curious.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to pick at 2-3. We start with Amon-Ra. We'll see what this drafter does. They're going to time out and select Garrett Wilson. We could do McBride. We could scroll. What do you guys like?
I'm into McBride.
Sure.
Evergreen.
Do
it.
Yeah.
I mean, the floor ceiling combo of McBride, especially in plus matchups, is just it's unparalleled at the tight end position, given Brock Bowers' current health. I mean, maybe Tyler Warren if he continues to get, some rushing attempts mixed in here and stuff.
I feel like the interesting question or conversation around McBride is just like how much, right? Because like from a Vort perspective and stuff, I think you can make the case for him exactly where we took him at pick 9, which means you can have a pretty big grip of him if that's where you have him ranked. So like, I don't know, like what percentage when you guys look at your exposures after lock at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, like what's the number you'd want to see from McBride?
35.
Wow. It's a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say 20.
Yeah. I'm probably going to be in between that. Probably 25 would be what I'd shoot for, I think. Or I haven't been like really managing my exposures a ton as I go, but I'm guessing that's about where I'd end up just naturally.
Yeah, same. Just because it just where we picked him, like the guys that go after him, it's all like, I would take whoever we have at the 3-4 over the, like I'm not sweating who were like that 1v1 between any of those guys.
You guys want to slurp the Henry Dipperino again or do something else?
I'd say we take Henry.
Yeah, good with this.
It's our first running back. Like we need to take one. Not a bad start there. And now we have, quite a few options here. We can, go. We can make this a Kyler team. We can set up a golf double, which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was thinking through this the other day of how in the large BR, I think typically when I'm doing double stacks, I would want it to include the tight end. Obviously on this team, it would be a JMO, but I think in the small field, I have no issue with the double wide receiver stack.
I think that's a good take. Yeah. Like JMO for me, like the profile is a little too volatile for this contest that I would actually stack with David Montgomery here, which would be like counterintuitive. But yeah, that's just like a small field dynamic that I would incorporate.
I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously, like, David Montgomery scoring on the ground, but it's just us thinking that this game plays to its total, obviously. We just think there's going to be a ton of points to be had here. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah, let's do it. I like that. And I mean, to John's credit, or to John's point, you'll see a lot of those quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end stacks and like the fullback dive and the bomb and stuff get there, where having to being directionally accurate on a team scoring a lot of points is a lot easier than being directionally accurate on which two pass catchers are the highest scoring.
Exactly.
Is just basically how I'd sum it up.
Yep.
Even though, but I wouldn't do that. I would never, I don't want to say never because they have a fucking 30-point team total, but I'm probably going to have like maximum of one team with Goff and Montgomery together in the large BR.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Paid has an interesting point in the chat that is something that kind of goes under talked about on our shows throughout the week, but something we've addressed a little bit in the masterclass. Just like the idea of like all exposure thresholds not being created equal in terms of let's make this pick here.
We'll grab Goff and then we can
let's just do that.
Yeah, just in terms of like thinking through your front end combinations where it's like it's fine and cool for us to say like, hey, Trig McBride, like 20%, 25%, 30%, whatever it was, the number that we were comfortable with. But like the combos in which it's own, we really have to think through the dynamic of pairing it with like each first rounder or something, or else you're just doing yourself a disservice if you're just overlapping combo mapping over and over and over again.
Yep.
For sure. And that is the risk. When you have McBride, let's say you have him ranked at 9 or 8 and that you're just going to have him just at a ridiculous rate with players with an ADP of 6.78 or 5.67. Like that's really what you want to be careful with.
Yeah.
And I do, who do we can get a fun wide receiver here? What direction would you guys want to go?
I'm good with one of the Chargers guys. If that's like just another game environment you want to tap in, and they're both going to be contrarian.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've been doing a lot of Ladd and Keenan. Let's do Ladd. This is the week. This is the week, guys. All right, so here's
a lot of martingaling here.
Our small field DK tournament. A little stack on the Lions: Jared Goff, David Montgomery, and Amon-Ra. The big dog slurped up that Dipperino. Ladd McConkey, a little wide receiver scroll, and the tight end one, Trey McBride. Looks good. All right, let's do a Badge Bros brawl. What's that, John?
Oh, I was just going to say one more thing in terms of the Ladd stuff that both Karain pointed out in the walkthrough and Hayden wrote up as well is missing a slot corner on the other side too. So, double bubble matchup setup.
John, if you're going to bring it up, what's his name?
I have no idea.
Because he's got a wild name.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, let me look it up and try and say it then. That'll be good content.
And I mean that like it's just like it's a guy that I haven't heard of. I was like, oh, okay, he's out. Like that happens every once in a while. Davis said his name to me on the show, and I'm like, you've never heard of him in your life? He's like, no.
It's hilarious.
Good clean.
All right. We are in the Badge Bros Brawl. Hopefully by now you guys are familiar with this contest structure. $5 entry, 3-person drafts. So no 6-person, no 12, 3-person drafts. And what it ends up being is a scroller's paradise here with, tight end 4 and later, QB 4 and later, having a much lower ownership percentage than normal. So a very fun game theory contest.
Mike Sanderstrill.
Mike?
That's the guy.
I wasn't expecting his first name to be Mike when you set it up with
I wasn't trying to be like problematic about it. It's just a name that I just hadn't heard of before. And I was like, oh, okay. Mike. Yeah, this guy's missing. Like that wasn't anything that jumped off the page to me. But yeah, he's a starting slot corner. So yeah, big deal.
All right, guys, we are on the clock at the 3. I assume the HN Amon-Ra will be fairly popular, so we could do one of HN and Amon-Ra with something else. What do you guys like?
Let's do Nez's GM from the other side there and do HN and JSN.
That's good. Yeah, I was going to say HN with one of JSN or Wilson, just Wilson ADP of 9. Although I guess that sometimes even comes back. So yeah, I think the JSN is probably perfect there.
These contests are just like so funny, man. The ownership percentages in these are just like are hilarious. You could basically like simulate or create hypothetical lineups of like every combination of like the top 60 and probably sim it out and get an idea of what works well, and then just like literally draft it because you can more or less like hand pick your teams here. It's a future endeavor of mine that I'd like to do because I want to do that for the PTPs as well.
Yeah, PTPs just because the condensing of the player pool.
Yeah, dude.
A Woody Marks selection.
Let's go.
We got to match.
Let's see here. What do you guys want to do?
Dude, let's do contrarian Herbert and do Hampton with Herbert as a scroll with none of the wide receivers. You don't play whack-a-mole on who the wide receiver is.
Awesome. Sure. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and again, this is a relatively small contest. I mean, 2,200 entries, and you're kind of hoping you sneak in like the Bijan, 60-yard TD reception in there as well.
Exactly. Yeah,
he's not last week from him. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he can do that.
Look no further than last night, where both running backs score through the air multiple times.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right, we got Herbert, we got HN, Hampton, JSN.
Dude, J-Cam deserves a medal for this. This is an incredible squad.
This Bryce Young, Tedoroy McMillan, and Woody Marks. All
That's rare in the BR.
Do you guys want to do what about like Laporta? And he's the one that scores these Lions TDs.
I like Laporta.
Yeah, I think we've done a fair amount of scrolling in this one. I'd probably just take Garrett Wilson here.
Garrett Wilson at this price.
Yeah, and just be like, this is unique enough for us to get there. We got a 3 unique combination at the top, and then we got a scroll tight end, a scroll quarterback, and a scroll quarterback that's primarily going to be stacked with pass catchers, not running back. So it works on like 4 different levels.
Yeah. All right, there she is. Herbert, Hampton, HN, JSN, Garrett Wilson, Sam Laporta, the Badge Bros Brawl. Hop in there, $5 drafts, ton of fun. Can rip those super quickly if you want to bang out a bunch of those. But it is time, guys. It is time for Boostober. Time to slop it up here on Off and on the Clock.
Pick'em, spicy margs.
Spicy margs.
Radioactive spice.
Let's spice it up, slop it up.
Slop it up.
I mean, slide. Just
Permission to slide, Your Honor.
you sliders.
That's a 65X. That makes me feel good. All right, the goal, guys, is that Underdog just massively regrets this Boostober when we're done with them here. They say, no more, bad idea. The fellas got us. So unlimited boost, 30%, $50 max. But let's make them feel it here, guys, with the core. And I'm starting to feel the pressure for the core. Normally, I kind of go, just from the balls. I did research. I have 3 different options for the core. I'm ready to lock in here this week, guys.
Dude, this is a big deal, man. People look forward to the core. They're talking about us.
I feel like though you always get us started here. What do you want to put in here?
Yeah, I've been really liking the lowers, man. With these cores, and I'm gonna start with Tony. Say his name, Pollard. Lower 12.8 fantasy points. This is one that we just got to run, not walk to. Arizona, man, we've been talking about it for a while. Sneaky, strong defense here. They're strong in drop back allowed. They're strong in rush EPA. They are 5th in rush success rate and from the positive angle. So yeah, I am very, very much in on this Tony Pollard lower.
Yes. I did just I completely forgot something early because I saw David's comment at the top of the show. David gifted 5 memberships to both of our channels here. Thank you again, David. David's been having an awesome year in the BR streets. I feel like every Monday I wake up and he has another top 10 screenshot somewhere. So thank you as always, David, for the memberships. Very nice of you.
Yeah, David's the man. Thanks, dude.
I love that, Nez. The other thing, and sorry if you mentioned it, but Spears is probably going to be back as well.
I did not mention it. I know he's questionable and he's been practicing, so that would be a huge thorn in his side. If he gets activated, this number's going to go down, I think.
Yep. We talked about it a little bit when we were looking at the scrolls, but this Bowers situation, we're getting plus money on Jacoby Myers higher than 5.5, slightly 1.02. But this is a spot I want to take advantage of. Nez kind of hit it in the scroll section, but they're going to be trailing. I think he's going to be the focal point of the passing game this week. I really like Jacoby, and this has kind of been my sweet spot here. The Pittmans, the Myers, the Keenans, the Zay Flowers, these guys who are going to be the focal point of their offense with the receptions.
This is going to pivot well with that one then, because I had 2 here and I was going to let you guys choose. But now that we got a little bit of correlation in this one, I think I want to go with the Michael Pittman higher on the receiving yards.
Let's do it. On yards or receptions?
I like the yards one.
Yeah.
Unabated likes the yards too.
Yeah. He's been kind of around this number a couple of weeks, but this is a really good matchup for him. And some of my research today, what was he popping in? Oh yeah, I was looking at the RotoViz matchup tool. Colts wide receivers were specifically popping there. I think it's a good shout now that he's good to go.
Let's do it.
All right. Luckily, with the boost, I do not have to worry anymore about doing the double. We're going to max this out at $50 here.
Man, that looks so good.
It is. Let's keep Let's keep the core. What are we? We're 3 of 4 cores on the show on the year.
Correct. Yeah. Good start.
You love to see it there.
Calvin Ridley sold us. This is the only one. The only one who sold us so far.
Would you guys, because normally, how about this? Normally, I try to put $100 on our core. We have the $50 boost here. Would you guys want to do a core part 2 with just like a conviction, another play here?
Let's go.
Yeah. Because the one play we've been talking about the Titans, and this is just a little bit on the other side of it here. But Ridley finally returned to practice, but he's questionable. I mean, this Io Maynor line seems just so light to me here at 32.5. Was this going to be yours, John?
Yeah, I can't believe you went to it. It's Unabated's number 1 play too.
I hadn't even looked at Unabated. I mean, he's cleared this number every week except week 1 against Denver, which was his debut as a rookie. Like, I love this number.
Yeah, I've run it like 3 different ways with 2 different sets of projections on the unabated stuff, and it's their number 1 edge on the week. So I love it.
Beautiful.
I'll give you some time to do some research, John. If you need a backup, I'm going Alvin Kamara lower fantasy points here. It's 12.95. Man, a lot of ways this goes wrong. Kendra Miller having a role, Taysom Hill potentially coming back. I like the lower here.
I like it. I'm trying to come up with a good nickname. Nezzy Lowers. Lower Nez.
Nez, I don't know.
What do you think, John?
Yeah. My heart wants to do something Justin Fields rushing. But the hashtag models don't love it as much. They like lower passing more than they like enjoyer of his rushing. How about Jared Goff higher passing completions? Showing a little bit of an edge here. Highest team total on the slate. They never take their foot off the gas.
Yeah, what is it? It's was it completions or pass attempts you said?
Completions.
Let's do it. Jared Goff 21.5, Kamara lowered 12.95, Io Maynor 32.5. Should we rip it?
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. That I might even off the clock have to do some round robining with those cores there.
Yeah, those are good.
Okay. I had mentioned to you guys I have that hard out today, so I want to get in a few of our other typical ones here. Definitely a game stack and a touchdown and a super slide here. So which game should we mess around with?
I think Nez, you kind of hinted at it, right? You want to do something with that Carolina one?
It's either Carolina, Miami, or Giants and Saints.
Oh yeah, you also said Giants, Saints. Well, we just played Kamara lower in the core there. Let's play the other game.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, let's play this as the Tet breakout game, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the Tet breakout game, the concentration on Miami side funneling through the 2 big guys.
You like Tet eight receptions at a 3.14?
Yeah, I think that's good. The ADOT's been really strong, but I think he can connect for 8 receptions here.
Yeah, no, you're right. Let me just see what the comparable is, I guess.
It always looks better from receptions.
It'd probably be 100 yards at 2.67.
Do 100 yards.
I don't mind that.
Okay.
All right, we'll do 100 yards instead. Yeah, eight's a hefty number. And with Bryce, it's always nice to lean into like a big play as opposed to him completing 8 passes.
Right.
God damn it, Bryce.
All right, what else do we like?
HN receptions, Waddle stuff, Tommy Tremble touchdown, like that kind of stuff.
I like the Tremble stuff for sure. What did he have last week? So he was 8 targets, 5 for 42 and 1. Even him getting 5 receptions again is is 4.5 or is 1.93. It's not bad.
Yeah, so let's do those two, and then our favorite Miami slide on the other side.
Yeah,
and just run it as a 3.
You like those? Nez, what Miami do you like?
So I'm really into. Do we have any rushing for him? No, damn it. I like Malik Washington. I'm really annoyed that we don't have combo stuff or any rushing stuff for him, because I think the combo scrimmage yards would be a ton of fun, because he's getting 2 to 3 carries a week. And with Hill out, like, I feel like that's just another design opportunity for him. So
I will say, Nez, even just 7.85 fantasy points or whatever, if you want to play that angle, I mean, with the boost, this is a 40xer right here.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm cool with fantasy points.
McMillan, 100 receiving yards, Tremble, 5 balls, Malik Washington, over 7.85 fantasy points. You like that?
Yeah.
That's fun.
All right. Rip it in here. Yeah.
I might have cooked a little something on the side there too, so I'm going to share that one in the chat for you.
Okay.
And then see if you guys like that home cooking.
All right. Well, I'll pull it up. I mean, I don't want to gatekeep here. All right. We got Tetaroya, Achane reception slide, Waddle reception slide, 32xer there. All right, there we go. We're gonna get all up in this game here. So we got the core part 1 and part 2, and we got Carolina, Miami, part 1 and part 2 here. And I will, as always, I will drop these into the Badge Bros channel in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. I'll put them in the show notes in my newsletter tomorrow. You will have places to find them. Here's the dump, David, so far in the chat. It looks like that split up on the last one there. So let me try one more time. All right. I have like 2 minutes left. What should we do here? You guys want to do a touchdown one?
Yeah, I think we got to do touchdowns in solidarity with people playing the dog bowl there. Honor Chris for winning last week.
Yes. Holy cow. I still can't get over that.
So cool.
All right, let's each put someone in here who's scoring a touchdown. Let's get a 3-leg touchdown one.
Yeah, I'll take Breece Hall.
Nice.
Breece Hall, even money. Let's get that in there. John, who's scoring a touchdown?
Man, I'm so tempted to go back to the Miami stuff, but let me just confirm a price point here. I mean, this, no, it's not a good enough one. I was going to go like Marv Harrison if we were getting like a 1.5 or something.
I was literally looking. I literally just typed that in before you said it. I was curious on that 1.18.
Yeah.
And Breece Hall, man. Are you kidding me?
Do you know which one I want? I want a Giants wide receiver, either Wandell or Slayton, I think is a good one.
Just take whichever one the price point's better there. Slayton's a 1.8.
8. And Robinson's a 1.49. Yeah, let's go Slayton.
Yeah, I gotta zoom out.
I mean, John, a Marv isn't bad here at all with the if we go Marvin Harrison, who I also like, that's with the boost, you're looking at a 16x for those 3.
What is David Montgomery potentially? Like, he's probably getting taxed to the world,
he's getting
right?
taxed.
0.81.
Yeah. And then what about JSN? We all kind of like that game. You're getting 1.9 on
1.09?
Yeah,
that's not bad.
1.9 on JSN is a lot better than 1.19 on Marv.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that's a 15x there for Breece, Slayton, and JSN. Breece and Slayton. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, like Slayton's doing the heavy lifting here, but then 2 nice chalk pieces that everybody's kind of in favor of.
Okay. All right, real quick, let's do 2 players, big slides, a little mini correlation from a game. Should we play the lad slide?
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally the week. What do you guys like, yards or receptions for lad?
The problem with the lad slide, the only thing I'd say the problem with the lad slide is I'm not sure what we're going to love on the Washington side.
That's true.
I would do Jaden Daniels rush yards, like, for sure.
Okay.
Okay. I like that. Jaden Daniels rush yards, 44.5. What's the number, Nez? How much did he rush?
Go to 69.5.
That gets you 25.84 base, 33x there. Just two simple things. Lad 9, Jaden Daniels 70 yards.
Perfect. Before you click that one and steal that link, can you post the other link in the private chat, please?
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm saving all the links. I'll post them all down here.
All right.
All right, guys. This has been awesome. I have to run. Make sure you guys check out the Underdog Masterclass. Get 10% off with promo code BADGE. We need to go 3 for 3. Next 50K winner, we need another Masterclass sub. Or preferably Masterclass author would also be nice.
Yes.
All right. This has been Off and On the Clock. Everybody enjoy your shows. Nez, no strip tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night. Yep.
All right. And I'm going to have Mathology on After Dark tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, hell yeah.
As well. So, yeah, excited for that. Love you all. Good luck this week. We'll see you guys next time on Off and On the Clock.